dehydration, lack of food, filth, children left to lie on the concrete ground with nothing but a small metallic sheet, families being separated. Do these sound like humane conditions to you? If you have any compassion, the answer should be no. However, despite these conditions being inhumane, these are the types of things that immigrants seeking asylum at the southern border are enduring. Although many fail to see the problem with treating humans this way, including the government, their justification being they are drug dealers, criminals, rapists, or they should cross the legal way. People who often say this are just repeating what they see in the news, social media, etc. While some of the things that they say could be true, most of the time it is exaggerated. But what about all of the good news about immigrants and how most of them are genuine good people? Or what about the types of conditions they are fleeing from? It is important that we treat these immigrants with respect and accept them into our country because diversity is what makes this country great. Before we get into the facts and persuasion, I would like to take a look at the responses provided by my survey. As shown in the charts, many of the people just in this room know an immigrant, documented and undocumented. Of these people, majority also believe the legal immigration process needs to be changed and the wall is not needed. While I'm glad to see that many are on the same page, some are not. And even for those of you that are on the same page as me, I would like to inform and motivate you to take action by telling you why this issue is important. First, I would like to give you all a rundown of some of the requirements people looking to come into the United States must meet to even apply to come into this country. There are three types of visas that people can apply for. These consist of family-based immigration, fiancé visa, and employment-based immigration. In order to obtain any of these, a person seeking to migrate to the U.S. must submit a petition with a sponsor from the United States. Then, if their petition is approved, they must start the National Visa Center processing. Then go through the Consular Electronic Application Center processing, choose an agent, and then pay fees. After all of this, they have to submit financial documents, supporting documents as to why they need to migrate, and their visa application form to the NVC. Then, if this is approved, they will have an interview. Even after going through this whole process, individuals will have to wait years to know if they were accepted to come into the U.S. This system is inefficient as it takes years to be accepted, and the U.S. can decline people of visas for no good reason. A very common misconception is that illegal immigrants do not pay taxes. When this information is spread by the media and government, it leads people to believe that illegal immigrants negatively affect the United States. However, this is far from the truth. Contrary to what is said by the media, illegal immigrants do pay taxes. According to Vox, the most recent IRS data from 2015 shows the agency received $4.4 million in income tax returns. 4.4 million income tax returns from workers who don't have Social Security numbers, which included a large number of undocumented immigrants. That year, they paid $23.6 billion in income taxes. These stats exclude individuals who paid their taxes under fake Social Security numbers on their W-2s. Many of the benefits that these immigrants pay towards, such as Medicaid and Social Security, they cannot even use. One of the reasons so many immigrants file taxes is to create evidence and documentation of how long they have been in this country and contributing tax funds. This has been one of the main requirements in past reform efforts to lead immigrants to a legal status, just like it did in Obama's DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which allowed undocumented youth to temporary work permits. Many times, these immigrants need the benefits that they pay for but do not have access to them simply due to their legal status. These programs require a valid Social Security number in which an undocumented worker can't obtain. Yet another thing that many Americans are misinformed on is that the majority of immigrants crossing the southern border are criminals, rapists, and drug dealers, when in fact this is also far from the truth. Majority of the people crossing the southern border illegally are families, mothers, and their children. These people are not coming here to seek trouble. They are coming here in hopes to give their children a better life, a chance to succeed. However, that is not what the government wants the people to see. Instead, we only hear about the bad ones, such as the man who murdered Molly Tibbetts. This situation was made more about illegal immigration instead of the young girl who was murdered. However, murder is not an immigration problem. It is a national problem. In fact, according to a joint study in 2012 by Radford University and Florida Gulf Coast University, of all serial killers in the United States, 59.8% were black, 30.8% were white, and only 8.5% were Hispanic for the year of 2010. Furthermore, according to this graph provided by The Washington Post. In 2015, the criminal conviction rates in Texas included a significantly larger amount of native-born Americans than both documented and undocumented immigrants combined. Additionally, according to CityLab.com, illegal immigration had no effect on lower-level crimes like DUI deaths and correlated with decreases in DUI and drug arrests. These facts disprove the claim that undocumented immigrants drastically increase the crime rates in the U.S. Undocumented immigrants make up just 4% of the U.S. population as a whole, which doesn't give them the ability to make any significant impact on our criminal justice system. Meanwhile, U.S. citizens make up 22% of criminals worldwide. Many of our nation's largest industries could not function without immigrants. From construction to picking fruit on farms to janitoring, undocumented immigrants oftentimes take on jobs that a typical American would consider undesirable. These jobs often require intense physical labor, below minimum wage pay, and no benefits. According to this graph from the USDA, undocumented immigrants make up more than half the hired labor on farms. Also, according to CBS News, in 2014, unauthorized immigrants made up 24% of maids and cleaners, an occupation expected to need 112,000 more workers by 2024. This shows that the demand for these jobs are high, and immigrants are some of the main pulls of people willing to do them. The downside is these immigrants are not receiving the benefits that others doing the same job are. This is not fair nor safe for these immigrants by leaving them vulnerable and helpless in the case of injury, mistreatment, etc. In conclusion, I think we can all agree that the immigration system is broken, but dehumanizing the immigrants, throwing them in cages, deportation, and blocking them from coming here is not the solution. Instead, we should be working together with them to help them on their path to citizenship and fight for reform for the people on the other side who have been waiting 5 years to be reunited with their family. You can do this by writing letters to government officials and attending protests to fight for these immigrants. Thank you, and I hope that by listening to my speech, you've been able to learn and see this topic from a different perspective.